Falls, who is on the verge of 400 career wins. He's already the all-time leader in program history in wins with 399. And on the other side, Coach Joanna Burnaby McNamee. These two go all the way back to the 2006 Maryland National Championship team. We'll get into that a little bit more as well. But history between these two. Take a look at the starting five for Louisville. Kiana Smith, Emily Enksler, of course, Olivia Cochran. Enksler looking inside, couldn't find Cochran there. Still on the ball, 7 to shoot, and turns it over.
What a good defensive possession for BC to start this game. They have numbers right now. I'm not quite sure what's happening on the other end of the floor as Cochran gets up. That's good. For a second, Sam, I thought perhaps Cochran was still on the floor injured. And this is that defensive possession. Gakdang getting in the passing lanes, and it almost looked like Cochran and Van Lith ran into each other. And then we talk about the great start. On the defensive end, a great start for BC. Now an and one with the freshman Gakdang here at the rim. BC got off to a slow start against Louisville in the last one. This is a good sign for the Eagles.
No question about it. Maria Gakdang, 6'3" freshman, a high ceiling, young, talented freshman. Had 14 points, went 7 for 8 in the win against Pitt on Thursday. That is going to be an exciting matchup to watch. Gakdang and Olivia Cochran underneath.
And Gakdang only a 39% free throw shooter, so how about that? 1 for 1 from the stripe so far.
So an early 3-0 lead as Van Lith, the skip pass all the way over to Chelsea Hall for 3, and that's no good. Scrum for the rebound ends up in Van Lith's hands. Back to Hall, the transfer from Vanderbilt. Out of bounds, going to stay with Louisville. It is the 4th season for Coach Joanna Burnaby McNamee. What a job she has done, has brought this program to new heights. They've already eclipsed the amount of ACC wins from last season. They only had 2, and they've already got 3, and they are currently sitting in the last 4 out in our friend Charlie Cream's bracketology right now. Van Lith fading away. Tough shot, and Cam Schwartz brings up the rebound. Quickly ahead in transition. Taylor Soule puts it up and in. A 5-0 lead for Boston College here in the first quarter.
You could not have scripted a better start for Boston College. Coach Mack told us we have to mix it up defensively, and you'll notice that from BC. They'll switch it up between man and zone, and we have to score in transition when we have the opportunity. So BC doing just that in the early going.
Wow, already Boston College has kind of forced 2 turnovers.
And this is just easy. A shot clock ticking down at the end. Van Lith takes a tough shot. Cam Schwartz gets it out to Taylor Soule. No dribble needed. BC, this game is being played the way BC wants it to be played so far. Louisville is one of the best defensive teams in the nation. They're 5th nationally in scoring defense. They force a bunch of turnovers. And Coach Mack was really emphasizing to us, we can't let Louisville dictate how this game is going to be played.
Foul going against Chelsea Hall there. That's her first. Here's the numbers between the two. Boston College has really kind of jacked up their offense, 76 points a game. The trouble for them has been the turnovers. And so far they've been able to manage here in the first couple of minutes. Here's a pass underneath. Gakdang somehow reels it in, guarded closely by 2 Louisville players. It's going to stay here with Boston College. Last touch by Louisville.
That is a great defensive play by Emily Enksler. And the defense for Louisville, it starts with the ball pressure. You'll see Van Lith and Chelsea Hall and Kiana Smith pressuring the ball all the way out beyond the 3-point line, even near that B in the BC logo. It just makes it difficult to initiate your offense when you're getting that kind of ball pressure all game.
Louisville riding a 14-game winning streak, the longest in the country currently, the longest active streak. Have not lost since the opening game of the season to Arizona in overtime. Kiana Smith putting one up and in for the first field goal of the game for Louisville.
Kiana Smith has been ballin' lately for Louisville, Sam. She leads the ACC in 3-point percentage. She's shooting 45% from 3, shot 38% last year, so that's a huge jump for her. And coming off a 20-point performance against Syracuse.
T-Sol in the paint. Just couldn't get the roll there on the left-handed layup. Haley Van Lith looking to push.
Great job by Gerard. Stop the ball. First and foremost in transition defense, make sure you stop the ball. She forced Van Lith to bring that ball back out.
Down low to Cochran. Nice post move, and she puts it off the glass for 2.
And notice what Louisville's doing. They love to apply some pressure, especially after a make. This is just their man-to-man press. They're going to guard you full court. Coach Back was telling us they were simulating their pressure by using 6 players on the floor, using her scout team, but there were 6 BC Eagles out there playing defense instead of just 5.
Offensive rebound for Gakdang, and a great start for the freshman, already with 5 of the 7 points for Boston College. Nice backdoor cut.
Great
What an interior pass.
What a pass by Chelsea Hall. Chelsea Hall, the senior transfer from Vanderbilt, not known for her scoring, but she is known for her passing ability and her defensive ability. She's a great glue player and a really good distributing point guard for this Louisville team.
Arnell Gerard guarded closely by Anxler. She is so good on an on-ball defender. Van Timmeren, the talented freshman, shot goes a bit long, and a foul on the floor here. That's going to go against Olivia Cochran.
That was an interesting call, Sam.
Yeah.
Very late whistle, it seems. And I thought for a second they may have been calling it on a shot, but I'm really not sure what happened there. That was a super late call, and Boston College gets the benefit of getting the ball back, albeit with the shortened 20-second shot clock.
Taylor Soule on Anxler. Back to Cam Schwartz. Again, 39 points a week ago. Has that one partially blocked. Quickly up ahead for Louisville to kick out transition 3. Emily Anxler shooting over 50% from 3. Misses that one. Foul underneath. It's going against Van Timmeren for Boston College.
In that last play, 2 Boston College Eagles were trying to box out Olivia Cochran, and they called the foul on Van Timmeren. Cochran she's a big challenge inside, and going to be a challenge for Van Timmeren and Gakdang, 2 freshmen for BC trying to deal with Cochran. But here's what the Eagles need to do, Sam. Get out and run. Michaela Dickens coming off the bench. She is instant offense, and BC dictating the pace more so far in this one than Louisville is.
That's Liz Dixon off the mark there. Michaela Dickens off the bench. She has kind of been that spark plug. First player off the bench for Boston College this season. A sharpshooter from 3. In and out there. Almost went down. The transition 2. Foot was on the line there for Kiana Smith.
Great start for Kiana Smith, just hunting for her shot. She is playing with a ton of confidence right now. She has officially moved into, statistically, is Louisville's leading scorer, so they need her to look for her shot early and often.
Dickens again rattles one just a bit off, and then Taylor Soule with the offensive rebound. Boston College has crashed the offensive board and gotten a couple of points on those rebounds there. That was a wild shot. Van Timmeren brings in the rebound. It's a 3-point lead for Boston College. Still yet to have a stoppage of play here as well, Kelly, in the first quarter. It's been up and down transition points. But it's been Maria Gakdang for Boston College to get this team going. 5 points, 2 for 2 from the floor, Kelly.
Gakdang, a young freshman, just her second ever game against Louisville. And she is making her mark early for the Eagles.
What is an overpass? Come on.
Nobody wants more robot tests, but we could all use more ways to save.
Hard work? Sure. Guesswork? No thank you. Because when you're on a mission, you want to get it right the first time. That's where the Home Depot comes in. with an app to rent and reserve the right tools with just a tap. With convenient image search options, and with the ability to see how something looks in your space before you even buy it. It's how the Home Depot takes the guesswork out of the hard work. The Home Depot app, how doers get more done.
A lot of respect, a lot of history between these two head coaches. Joanna Burnaby-McNamee and, of course, head coach Jeff Walz go all the way back to the 2006 Maryland Terrapins team and winning their lone national title, going to the White House there, meeting the president. But you can certainly tell, and we talked to both coaches, Kelly, about just kind of what they learned and how the amount of respect they have for both of each other. But there was also some funny stories that Jeff told us about when Joanna first came on staff at Maryland.
Well, I love those pictures, by the way. A nice little throwback. A lot of these players probably 2 or 3 years old during that Maryland National Championship season as Cam Swartz gets going, picking up where she left off down in South Carolina and getting a rare chance at a 4-point play, Sam. This is impressive. You have to let the shooter land. That's where you get these foul calls on a 3. You can't get in their way when they're trying to come back down. And Cam Swartz makes Louisville pay. That's a good sign for BC. But I loved hearing the story, Sam, like you said, between Coach Walz and Coach Mack. These two are ruthless competitors, and Coach Mack recalled that when she was first hired, Coach Walz maybe gave her a little bit of a hard time, said, all right, I know you can coach. Can you recruit? And Coach Mack's like, yeah, I can recruit. Well, why are you even saying that to me? So I love the back and forth. They got off to perhaps a little bit of a rocky start, but now they are really good friends and have a lot of mutual respect for each other.
All right, so Louisville down 7 to Boston College here in the first quarter. Boston College shooting 46% from the floor. There's Mikasa Robinson, short on the jumper there, and the rebound of Boston College once again quickly up in transition. It's tipped to Cam Swartz, and she puts it up and in, and Swartz now with 5 points in the game.
You can tell that Boston College is making a concerted effort to get the ball out and run, and they're doing a great job. Louisville has to be more aware, whether it's sending less to the glass or just making sure your guards get back, because BC is killing them right now in transition.
Louisville also 0 for 3 now to start from beyond the arc. Fast break points have been a huge factor here in the first. As well as points in the paint, Maria Gakdang has been fantastic. Now you see Emily Enksler playing defense on her. Cochran not in the game. Here's Taylor Soule trying to use the glass, and Enksler brings in the rebound.
Louisville is one of their last 7 from the floor. They have to find a way to get some good looks, but that time Taylor Soule in the perfect position, help side. And here's another look at what BC's doing in transition. Cam Swartz gets that rebound. Her head is up. She's looking for a teammate. Gerard, one dribble, head is up, looking for Michaela Dickens. And BC doing a good job, not just looking ahead, but also Soule and Dickens running the floor and getting open and getting to the rim for their teammates.
Enksler fakes the 3, puts it on the floor. A little bit strong there, and Gerard brings in the rebound once again quickly up the floor. Boston College on an 8-0 run, and too many steps underneath there for Gakdang, well guarded by Enksler. All right, we have a great women's college basketball game for you, of course. I want to stay tuned here on the ACC Network, 4 p.m. Eastern. Elisa Canane, number 4 NC State, hosting Kara Lawson's number 16 Duke Blue Devils. Wolfpack are undefeated in conference play. This is going to be a good test for both teams. Again, 4 p.m. today, right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. One to look forward to as well. Louisville will be meeting up with NC State next week, or this week coming up, if you will, on Thursday.
Sam, in this league, it feels like no matter what day it is, you're going to have at least one ranked versus ranked matchup. And most of the time you have more than one. This league is so difficult. And I think it's very telling. Louisville, 3rd in the nation, right now struggling at Boston College. And BC is a team that, as we've talked about, Charlie Cream has them in their first 4 out. A win like this would do wonders for BC's resume.
Gerard creates space and knocks down the jumper.
Marnell Gerard, a little skip to my Lou, mid-range knockdown. We see you, Marnell.
Ranks 9th in the ACC. She's averaging 2 threes a game. I think sometimes she gets overlooked a little bit as a three-point shooter.
Sam, I agree, and I wrote down, I think she's one of the most improved players in the ACC. Perhaps overall the most improved player on this Boston College team. She was all defensive team last year. We know she can guard. We know she's going to average a good number of steals. But the fact that she's averaging nearly 10 points per game this year, that's been really big for Boston College.
Errant pass there from Casa Robinson out of bounds. The turnovers continue to be a problem. That's now 4 in the first quarter for Louisville.
And Sam, you may look at this game and think, well, BC's scoring really well. They're getting out in transition. They have 19 points already. I think the story here has been BC defensively. They have made it so hard on Louisville to get any good looks in the half court, and they're doing a great job of not turning it over and therefore not letting Louisville get easy runouts in transition.
4 turnovers to just 1 turnover for Coach Mack's squad, a 19-10 lead with 35.3 left to go. Fresh shot clock for Boston College on the inbound. Gerard will slow it up now with 10 on the shot clock. Gerard. Jalen Batts and the turned over, but there's Gakdang to take it right back. Shot clock is off, and Boston College will hold for the final shot of the first quarter.
What a heads-up play by Gakdang.
5 to shoot. Gerard with the ball. Gerard tries to put up a shot, gets fouled by Narika Kono, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 1.8 left to go in the first.
Sam, I am fairly confident Jeff Wallace is losing his mind on the sideline right now, or at least internally, because that play, that set, was completely broken down for BC. They had nothing. They had some confusion about who was setting a screen, etc. Gerard attacks the basket, does a good job of drawing contact, and Louisville just bailed BC out on that possession. You have to know that that play is broken down. They're just trying to force up a shot. You cannot foul in that situation.
1 for 2 from the line, a 10-point lead. Louisville will try to get a half-court heave up, and they don't even get a shot.
Is playing with the confidence of a team that has won 4 in a row. Now, I know Louisville's won 14 in a row, but BC seems to have really found their identity in the last couple of games, and it's showing.
Well, opponents have averaged just 11 points in the first quarter of games this season against Louisville. Boston College put up 20. But, like we were talking about in the break, Kelly, there is a lot of basketball left to play, and this Louisville team has won 14 in a row for a reason.
Oh, they have. They know how to stay in a game and fight back, and here's a foul on Van Timmeren. That's 2 on Van Timmeren now. So that decreases the depth inside for Boston College as Gakdang comes back in, trying to deal with some of these post players for Louisville. You're not going to see panic. I think that's what we saw in the Jeff Walz huddle. He's not panicking. He's just saying, look, y'all, we're not playing like we're capable of. So let's go out there and let's execute. You're never really going to see panic from a team like Louisville.
Peyton Bearhouse, again, one of the talented freshmen for Louisville. A kick out to Kiana Smith. 5 to shoot. Mikasa Robinson with the ball. Robinson guarded closely by Gerard, and she takes it right out of her hands.
That's why Gerard was an all-ACC defensive performer last year. She has such quick hands, able to knock that ball away from Mikasa Robinson.
Dickens, long pass to Schwartz, and a long three short. And Mikasa Robinson brings it in. Narika Kono, nice pass to Kiana Smith in transition.
And Sam, you'll notice there's only one starter on the floor right now for Louisville, and that's Kiana Smith. Louisville has depth. I mean, they bring McDonald's All-Americans off the bench. So I think Jeff Walz is sending a message right now to some of his starters saying your effort, your execution is not good enough. And this is a great job by Narika Kono finding Kiana Smith in transition. Smith is a player that has been in college basketball for a while, Kiana Smith, and she comes off the bench and has had some big contributions for Louisville, had 11 points off the bench in their win over UConn.
Jump ball possession arrow to Louisville. It's a great opportunity there for Taylor Soule in the inbound. It looks like Louisville has had a couple of miscommunication problems on the inbounds underneath passes this game so far. See if they can clean that up. Kiana Smith thought about it, takes it to the elbow. Nice dump down to Mikasa Robinson, but it's blocked. Scrum on the floor for it. It's Schwartz tied up with Kono. And it's Boston College ball.
What a play by Jalen Batts. I mean, this is an athletic basketball play right here. Getting your hand on the ball. She avoided the foul. And with this lineup that Louisville has on the floor right now, Sam, the tallest player out there is Bearhouse at 6'1". Louisville has played 4 guards a lot this year, but normally they have Cochran or Dixon in the middle. So BC definitely has a size advantage, especially at the 4 and 5 spot right now.
Gakdang tied up in another jump ball. Velhurst got her hands in there. So back and forth we go with the possession arrow changing hands.
I'm not sure I've seen Louisville use this lineup, and this is good defense by Verhulst and Mikasa Robinson. Basically, Verhulst, the true freshman at 6'1", is playing the 5? Question mark? I feel like Jeff Walz is just trying to find a lineup that works right now.
Peyton Bearhouse, one of the highly touted recruits coming into Louisville. Here's Smith. Nice fake. Puts the floater up and gets the friendly roll on the road.
Lately, Kiana Smith has been so good using her pump fake. As we said earlier, she is the best three-point shooter in the ACC at 45%. So you have to run her off the line. When she gets in the paint, she has been excellent. Using the pump fake, getting her defender off the floor, and then finding a way to score.
Turnover there, and Louisville creeping back into this one. They were down 10 at the break of the first quarter, now down 6. Kiana Smith over to Kiana Smith in the corner for 3, and Smith knocks it down. The senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Forget keeping up with the Joneses, Sam. You're keeping up with the Smiths right now. Great pass from Smith to Smith.
Bats into Soule, and Soule loses her footing. No whistle yet. And a jump ball possession arrow to Boston College.
Louisville has gotten back in this game strictly on their defense. BC has not scored in this quarter. And like I said, Louisville playing a smaller lineup, and they're able to slow down Gakdang and Soule with some of these smaller players, and they're just getting after it defensively, applying that pressure. And you're seeing good effort from some of these reserves as finally another starter checks back in for Louisville.
No, you're right. It was mostly the players off the bench that have kind of provided a spark. Here's Cam Schwartz, top of the key for three. Too strong. Gakdang running for the rebound. Nice hustle. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by Gakdang.
And we talked about this, Sam. The keys to an upset for Boston College that Coach Mack gave us: handle the pressure, switching up defenses, and scoring in transition. They did a pretty good job of all three of those in the first quarter, but as you've noticed, in this second quarter, BC has very much been relegated to having to try to score in the half court. They have not been able to get out in transition. It's been a very good adjustment by Louisville in the second quarter.
You have to imagine that was a point of emphasis by Coach Jeff Walls at the break. Chelsea Hall now back in the game. The Vanderbilt transfer has struggled a bit offensively in the last couple of games, but has picked it up defensively for Louisville. Ten seconds on the shot clock for the Cardinals here. Into Chelsea Hall and back to Mikasa Robinson, one of the best defenders in all the league. This time showing off the offense. Oh, the block from Gakdang, but it was a foul called on Boston College.
I think they got Cam Schwartz for the foul, because this was a clean block by Gakdang. Cam Schwartz inside the restricted area and still moving. Didn't establish her position before Mikasa Robinson left the floor. So Gakdang did her job, and Cam Schwartz trying to take a charge. That's where, as you continue to grow with your teammates, Cam Schwartz needs to realize Gakdang can block that shot. And that's where you just need to be there, but don't take the contact, kind of get out of the way. And that's a trust that you have to build. But Gakdang is truly showing her shot blocking ability as of late, Sam. She has been excellent. She had 5 blocks in the win over Pittsburgh on Thursday.
Yes, and she has had 5 blocks in each of the last 2 games. So, ranks 3rd in the ACC, 31 blocks. She's averaging 2 a game. Some full court pressure here from the Cardinals, and that pass lucky to get in the hands of Schwartz. And Taylor Soule gets fouled on the shot.
You're right, Sam. This pass that Cam Schwartz just caught there, I think that Chelsea Hall just misread it and somehow didn't come away with it. And Taylor Soule doing a good job of drawing a foul. BC has to find a way to get out of this drought. Have not scored since the beginning of this quarter.
Taylor Soule shooting 75% from the free throw line this year. Knocks down the first. Every Thursday, 10 Eastern right here. After our women's basketball doubleheader, Nothing But Net crew is going to break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game. Look ahead to the best games on the schedule the coming week. That's insight you can only get one place, right here on the ACC Network. Van Lith for 3. That's a long 2 on the baseline. Haley Van Lith now with her first points of the game coming in the second quarter, 1 for 4 from the field.
You can't leave HVL that wide open. Lack of communication. And we'll see, Sam, if that shot gets her going. Like you said, she had yet to score.
Some more pressure and a foul committed by Enksler. Good hustle, though. Louisville trying to retake the momentum in this one.
Look, we all know who number 10 is. That's HVL. What you doing? You have to put a hand in her face. She is so good in the mid-range.
Tie up, possession arrow. Seen a lot of jump balls in this game. And Louisville will retake possession in a tie game, 21-all, 5:18 left to go here in the second quarter. Chelsea Hall to Mikasa Robinson. Van Lith. Hall, long 2, count it.
One of the biggest differences in this second quarter is that Louisville's making tough jumpers. They really still aren't getting to the basket. They're not getting easy looks, a 2-on-1 dish or an easy layup, but they're making some of these higher difficulty shots right now.
Louisville 13-1 run here in the second quarter. Four to shoot, and there is Anxler. She's been doing that all year long, Kelly. She certainly has. And the block for Cam Schwartz on the other end.
We've got a great one for you so far here in Conti Forum. Great pass by Mikasa Robinson, and Louisville fighting back with that three from Chelsea Hall.
If you want a lover, I'll do anything you ask me to. If you want a partner, take my hand, or if you want to strike me down in anger, here I stand, I'm your man.
Jomsbo, the new fragrance.
Hard work? Sure. Guesswork? No thank you. Because when you're on a mission, you want to get it right the first time. That's where the Home Depot comes in, with an app to rent and reserve the right tools with just a tap. With convenient image search options, and with the ability to see how something looks in your space before you even buy it. It's how the Home Depot takes the guesswork out of the hard work. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
Guys, thank you very much. We'll get it back to you in just a little bit. But Louisville has come right back into this game after trailing by 10 at the first quarter break. They've gone on to a 13-1 run, threatening for more here. Emily Anxler for three. No good. And Schwartz brings in the rebound. Anxler shoots over 50% from beyond the arc. So far in this one, she's 0 for 2 from long range.
The one thing we haven't had in this game so far, Sam, is really either team getting going from three.
Yes.
And that's why we have a little bit of a lower scoring game. But it feels like the team that's able to knock down a few timely threes could be the team that pulls away at some point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Boston College 1 for 6 in the game, and Louisville 1 for 5. Louisville shooting 37% from three-point range this year. That's good for second in the conference.
Great defense by Cam Schwartz.
There's Kiana Smith step back for three. Kiana
right
Smith
on cue,
now
Sam.
with 9 points in the game. That's her first three.
just when we were talking about which team can get going from beyond the arc, it's Kiana Smith, the best shooter on the floor in this game, and she has been shooting the ball with a high level of confidence lately.
Taylor Soule for two, yes. Taylor Soule, leading scorer for this team, preseason All-ACC selection, and a leader. Haley Van Lith, can they go back-to-back, in and out? Engstler there for the rebound, puts it back in. First points for Emily Engstler in the game, Kelly.
We highlighted that matchup between T. Soule and Emily Engstler. Both of those players do so much more for their teams than scoring the rock, but they do need to score for their teams to be successful. And I love to see Taylor Soule being aggressive early, looking for her own shot on that previous play with the mid-range.
Michaela Dickens, a great three-point shooter, starts 0 for 2 in the game. They'd like to get her going. Van Lith and Schwartz battling for the ball. Now it's on the floor. And another jump ball here in the second quarter. If you didn't have any idea how tough this game was, we have had jump ball after jump ball, tie-up after tie-up in this second quarter, and just great effort all around. There you see Dontavia Wagner, the transfer from NC State, battling with Haley Van Lith. Out of bounds, tough call here, but it's going to say last touch by Louisville.
And it's plays like that that BC cannot afford. That would have been an unforced turnover. Here, you get out of rhythm with just 25 seconds left here on the shot clock. But BC's doing a good job so far. In the first quarter, they took care of the basketball. In the second quarter, so far, they have 7 turnovers. That's been the biggest issue for them and why they've lost the lead in this game.
Huge swat there from Kiana Smith. All right, Friday night, 9 Eastern. Bald Man on Campus is back. Jay Billis, Fawn, Seth Greenberg preview the ACC slate. Well, the weekend games have the latest news from around the conference. Join in on the fun, only on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Sam, I would say this game has, in the first half, it's been a game of deflections. It feels like neither team can really get in a rhythm. We just had a deflection there as BC gets the ball with just 11 seconds left and has to inbound it from an awkward position. And now we have a jump ball. Maybe a game of deflections and jump balls. That's what we've had so far.
I would agree with you there. And it was interesting, too. Talking to Coach Mack, she said her Boston College team was excited to see the way that Syracuse played against Louisville because to them, it showed that Louisville was human in some respects, although maybe not so human with 14 wins in a row. But it gave her team confidence, right, to say, look, we crushed Syracuse earlier this year. We can play with these guys. Foul underneath.
And you see the ACC standing, Sam, you're exactly right. And players think that way. They do. When you see a team that you've beaten push and almost beat another team, it does give you confidence. And that's what's so great about the ACC when you look at NC State and Louisville. In the past couple of years, when both of those squads have been in the running for the Final Four, neither of them have gone undefeated in ACC play. They have looked human or have been made to look human by certain ACC teams. NC State lost to Virginia Tech last year. Louisville lost to Florida State. So they get knocked off from time to time. And these teams are human. Every team has flaws. Teams just, are good at hiding their flaws and exploiting yours. And that's what Louisville has been very good at.
That's a great point. Engstler once again with another steal, her second of the game. Quickly up to Haley Van Lith, who puts it up and in. It's now 30-23. What a second quarter for Louisville. Now Taylor Soule trying to take it up, and a tie-up there with Engstler and Soule.
Getting a little heated between Taylor Soule and Emily Engstler. Both very physical players, and this is what I mean by exploiting your weaknesses. Louisville does a great job in scoring off of your turnovers. If you're going to turn it over, they are going to make you pay. Louisville averages nearly 22 points per game strictly off of the other team's turnovers, and they already have 14 in this one. The vast majority of those points coming here in the second quarter.
Dontavia Wagner off the glass and in with 50 seconds to go. A 5-point lead for Louisville now. That ends a streak of 5 turnovers for Boston College. Chelsea Hall off the mark, quickly out to Van Lith. Nice pass. The extra pass from Mikasa Robinson.
HBL is so good in transition. If she gets an open look from that 10 to 15 point range, or 10 to 15 foot range, it's pretty much in. She has been great in transition. And how about that bucket from Dontavia Wagner? She is an NC State transfer for BC, has played really well as of late. Highly recruited player in her high school class. That's a good sign for the Eagles.
Michaela Dickens with the ball, 3 to shoot. Got to get a shot off, and it's blocked. Shot clock violation with 4.1 left to go here in the first half.
Sam, we just can't say enough about the defensive intensity that Louisville has brought in this second quarter. They have outscored BC 22-5. And now Jeff Walls wants a timeout to try to find a way to get a good look and extend this lead at halftime.
All right, we'll step aside for a quick break. We got a good one here.
I came across this house with water dripping from the ceiling. You never know when something like this will happen. So let the Geico Insurance Agency help you with homeowners insurance. Now, if I had to guess, I'd say somewhere upstairs there's a broken pipe.
Bundle and save even more at geico.com.
Now, your caramel frappe in the morning can earn you a free McChicken in the afternoon. Because every order earns points with new My McDonald's Rewards. Download the app today to start earning free McDonald's.
All right, welcome back. Louisville 22-5 run here in the second quarter, and they have done it with their defense, turning the ball over, forcing turnovers from Boston College, 10 in the quarter. And a heave, nowhere close there, but still now 0.6 seconds left to go.
Not quite sure what happened with that Louisville inbounds. It was tough for us to see, but still, an incredible second quarter for the Cardinals. This is why they're the number 3 team in the country, Sam.
No question about it. A great first half, 32-25, Louisville coming back.
A little more in this second half.
First half stats, Boston College just 1 for 9 from beyond the arc. We were talking about that. Want to see them get back to their first quarter of pushing the ball and forcing Louisville to be a bit more uncomfortable. But this is a Louisville team that has won 14 straight games. They know how to win close ones. There's been a couple of teams close this ACC season so far, but nobody has been able to conquer Louisville just yet. Enksler trying to look down low, and it's turned over. Nice defense from Gakdeng there on the interior. Gerard will take it up the floor for Boston College. It was a 22-5 run for Louisville in the second quarter, and Enksler almost able to come away with that one. Cam Swartz dribbling into traffic, out of bounds, and it's Louisville ball.
So most people probably saw a sloppy start there on both sides offensively, and yes, that's part of it. But the other part is that both of these teams are playing really well defensively. The high hedge on these ball screens, the post defense inside, it's just been difficult to get anything going. And of course, Louisville with Kiana Smith is able to do just that. And they've been able to get a little more offense going. That's why you see this 9-point lead.
34-25. Kiana Smith averages 11 a game. She's already got 11 here, just getting going here in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
The only thing better than the free large fries you get when you download the app are the points you'll start earning on any order with new My McDonald's Rewards. Download the app today to get free large fries.
What is an overpass? Come on.
Nobody wants more robot tests, but we could all use more ways to save.
Number 3, Louisville with a 34-25 lead. Here's a look at our bracketology with our friend Charlie Cream. And currently, This Louisville team, a 1 seed along with NC State, both out of the ACC, of course. And then you look at the last 4 in, first 4 out kind of situation, and Boston College is right there, along with fellow Massachusetts UMass. But Boston College, look, the down year last year, and coming back, and the start that they've had in conference play this year, they're going to need probably, Kelly, a couple of marquee wins. One here would certainly do it, but they're going to need a little bit more of a push down the stretch of conference play.
No doubt about it. This win would go a long way. This is what we call a signature win. To get a win over a number 1 seed would be huge for their resume. Now, to do that, they've got to find a way to get some offense in this third quarter. Louisville's defense has been absolutely stifling. The way they guard the ball on the perimeter, BC didn't even get the ball inside the perimeter for the entirety of that possession until the foul. That's how tough Louisville is defensively. But it does say a lot about BC, Sam. They had a down year last year, had so many injuries and so many COVID issues. They would have made the tournament the year before if not for the COVID cancellation. So the fact that Coach Mack has them back in the bubble conversation just says so much about Coach Mack and what she's been able to do with this team.
Couldn't agree more. Here's Marnell Gerard falling short on the 3 ball. Boston College 1 for 10, and part of the reason is because Louisville has just been so good defensively. The 49.4 points allowed, that's 5th in college basketball, 2nd in the ACC. They are holding opponents to just 34% from the field. That's good for 3rd in the conference. And, you know, Louisville has had good defensive teams in the past, but this one is on pace to be one of, if not the best. The previous record for the season has been 56.5 points a game. That was set by the 2019-2020 team. This team, they could beat that by a couple of points.
They should. I think this is the best defensive team that Jeff Walz has had. And he talks about how, look, he just adapts to his personnel. This team, he's playing more 4 guards, and he likes what they look like when they press. So they press a lot more. And as I've talked about a lot, they put such pressure on your guards because they have such good defenders at the guard position. But that's the second time, Sam. That's the second time that they have fouled a 3-point shooter. And we talked with Jeff Walz, and he has said this multiple times. I don't really have a system. My system is to win. Look, that's what he does.
Yeah.
And I think the best coaches out there, they adapt to their personnel. They adapt to each roster every year, that specific roster. This team is doing a lot of different things than last year's team, which had Dana Evans, ACC Player of the Year, and it's working out very well for Louisville so far.
No question, and I think Emily Engstler is a perfect example of coming into Jeff Walz's program because you play to the strengths of your players, is exactly what he said. And Engstler, not that she wasn't a great player at Syracuse, was a great player for the Cuse, but coming over to Louisville, she has really kind of blossomed into a true kind of all-around player, right? She doesn't have a position, really.
No, she doesn't. She plays the 4. She can play the 3, but she can also bring the ball up. She's at the top of their press. She's very physical inside. She leads this team in rebounding. She is such a versatile player, and that's exactly what Louisville needs. Kiana Smith is a player that we don't talk about enough in the ACC because, honestly, Van Lith and Engstler get a lot of the pub at Louisville, but she has been excellent. 6 of 8 from the field today, just shooting the ball lights out for the Cards.
And it's obviously tough, any sort of scorer coming in, taking over for Dana Evans, if you want to call it that. It's been kind of by committee, but Kiana Smith has carried a lot of the load on the shoulders as Taylor Soule puts that one up and in to bring it back to 10, the deficit. Soule with 7 points, 3 for 7 from the floor. Here's Cochran off the mark. Van Timmeren brings in the rebound, but it's a foul. I believe it's going against either Van Timmeren or Cam Swartz.
That would be big because Van Timmeren has 2 fouls.
Yeah. The foul went against Cam Swartz.
Okay.
So
that's good for BC.
That's her 3rd. So
oh, never mind. That's not. You're right because Cam Swartz had 2 fouls, so it would have been bad either way.
Gotta be careful there. Dickens, nice move and a kick out for 3. Count it. Arnell Girard. See if that gets Boston College going as they're back within single digits now. Just their second three made of the game.
Yes, exactly what BC needed. They have to get something from beyond the arc, and that was a huge shot by Girard, who has been shooting the ball really well from beyond the arc this season.
Foul against Chelsea Hall there. Boston College was kind of needing a little bit of a momentum shift, and this could be it.
What a pass by Michaela Dickens as well, splitting that defense, finding Girard, and the BC bench is loving it. BC has to bring that energy. I know it's been a struggle to score over the last quarter and a half, but you're still very much in this ball game, and so the energy has to be constant from both your bench and the players on the floor.
Yeah, Louisville has gone on a 27-7 run since the first quarter. Remember, Louisville was down 20-10 at the first quarter break. Interior pass underneath to Gakdang, has to get it back out to Van Timmeren, who travels. Chelsea Hall setting up the offense with 20 on the shot clock. Louisville shooting 43% from the floor, and a whistle underneath. All right, we got a great women's college basketball day for you all afternoon. You're going to want to make sure to stay tuned. 4 p.m. Eastern. Elisa Canane, of course, and number 4 NC State hosting Carol Lawson, number 16 Duke. Wolfpack are undefeated in conference play, so this is going to be a good test for both teams. That's Duke, NC State today, 4 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the ACC network.
And Sam, fouls are starting to factor into this game right now. You mentioned Cam Swartz on the bench with 3 fouls. Kiana Smith, who has been excellent for Louisville with 14 points. She also has 3 fouls, and she's also on the bench. So who else is going to step up for both of these squads?
Strong drive and a finish. How about it, Dontavia Wagner? A player who Coach Mack talked about at the start of this year was a little bit slow, but she has said she has put in the work over the holiday break, and she has earned her playing time now.
Her role was developing slowly, but her athleticism and her speed,
yes.
She is not slow. She is probably the best overall athlete on this Boston College team. Was a 4-star recruit in the class of 2020, went to NC State, and then transferred to Boston College. And what a bucket from Dontavia Wagner.
Averaging 5.5 over the last 4 games. Here's Hall, takes it in the paint, puts up a floater, and that's good for Chelsea, who's now got 4 in the game.
The ball pressure being applied from both of these teams on both ends of the floor is exhausting. Like, it's exhausting to watch. And I hope I'm communicating how difficult it is for these guards to play against the other with the defensive intensity that both these teams are bringing.
39-33, Boston College going to the free throw line when we come back.
Huh, so if Geico's 85, that makes you...
Are you asking if I'm 85 years old?
Sea turtles live to be 150, so... No, I was not.
Geico, saving people money for 85 years.
Smile Direct Club. You pop them in, you go to bed, and they do all the work.
Straighten your teeth while you sleep with Smile Direct Club nighttime aligners.
You just put them in when you go to bed. You don't have to wear them all day. They don't interfere with your daily lifestyle at all.
You can have your teeth straightened while you sleep. Who doesn't have time to wear something while they're sleeping?
I'm able to wear them just at night, and it's perfect for me.
Choose easy. Choose Smile.
Thanks, Smile Direct Club.
Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
Welcome back, Conti Forum. Number 3, Louisville, holding on to a 6-point lead over Boston College. Louisville, last 4 seasons versus Boston College. They have won all 6, and they have won by an average of 19 points in 5 of the 6 games. Boston College has not beaten Louisville since 1985. Now, An 8-0 run, or an 8-2 run, excuse me, for Boston College over the last couple of minutes. And Dickens on the free throw line. What does Boston College need to do to get back to what they were doing to start this game in the first quarter?
Well, I think it starts defensively because Louisville has looked a lot better on the offensive side of the floor in the past couple of quarters. It starts defensively, getting some steals, forcing some turnovers. I think BC has handled the pressure. They've done a good job switching up their defense. They've got to find a way to get out and transition a little more. A lot of that can come from defensive stops and forcing turnovers just like that from Boston College. And then without Cam Swartz on the floor, other offensive weapons have to step up. But I also think, Sam, BC has to take advantage of this stretch where Kiana Smith has 3 fouls. You've got to find a way to slow down Louisville without her because she has been the heart and soul of their offense in this game.
No question. She's leading the team with 14 of the 39 points. Marnell Gerard has 5 to shoot, now 4, picks up the dribble, puts up a crazy shot that almost went in. And Mikasa Robinson quickly up the floor to Haley Van Lith, who puts it up, misses the follow and the bucket. Count the bucket with the foul for Mikasa Robinson.
What a play by Mikasa Robinson. She does a little bit of everything for Louisville, and she does a great job of getting this ball up to Van Lith. And then what about this? All-in-one motion. Grabs the rebound and goes back up with this. This is so difficult to do. Skies in, grabs the rebound, gets the finish. A big play for Mikasa Robinson. We talked about Kiana Smith. The flip side is Louisville, and Jeff Walz is thinking, we have to find a way to maintain this lead without Kiana Smith, and that's how you do it if you're the Cardinals.
Foul trouble is going to be something to keep an eye on down the stretch of this game. You got Smith with 3, as we said, Hall with 3 as well. Here's Gakdang underneath, can't get it to go. Back to Dontavia Wagner, no good. There's Gakdang again, and a foul underneath.
Just a scrum for the ball, really, as we've seen. The players have been all over the floor in this game, jump balls, deflections. It's been that kind of basketball game. And this is a situation, too, for BC. The free throw line could end up being huge. Now, this is a team that only shoots 69% from the free throw line. And they are now 7 of 13 on the day. So they've left some points at the stripe, there's no doubt. But the best way to get back in a game is to score when the clock is not running.
Gakdang 1 for 2. The follow-up from Schwartz. Bodies collide. And it's going to be Louisville up, and they've got numbers. Haley Van Lith decides to take it back out and reset this offense. Cochran tries the reverse. No good. Gakdang with the rebound.
Great defense by Gakdang, forcing Olivia Cochran to take a very difficult shot.
Taylor Soule on the curl. Nice pass underneath.
What a pass.
What a look.
What an unselfish play from T. Soule. She had an open look, but she gave up that look for an even better look to Dontavia Wagner.
Bearhouse was trying to go coast to coast there. Here's another look at that.
Here's that defense from Gakdang, forcing Cochran to take an off-balance shot, gets the rebound, and then T. Soule, the unselfish leader that she is, passes up a good shot for a great shot. And BC right back in this game. Also, Cam Swartz is on the floor for Boston College with those 3 fouls.
And a travel at the top of the key. Kiana Smith took one too many steps, and another turnover. You see Emily Anxler still on the bench. Just 2 points in the game, 1 for 4.
Anxler
does have the 5 steals, though, Kelly, so talk about turning the defense on.
She's not in foul trouble. I think this is a situation where Coach Walz is a little frustrated with her play and is going to let her sit. Kiana Smith, of course, is in foul trouble, so Louisville struggling a bit offensively without those 2.
Double dribble there from Michaela Dickens. .15 turnovers for Boston College, and Already 13 for Louisville, a team that only averages just about 14.5 per game. So credit to Boston College there. Van Lith for three. Yes! Haley Van Lith.
BC does want to switch up their defenses. They've played very little zone in this game, but of course on that possession, they play zone. Van Lith gets a wide open three, and she knocks it down. I'm not sure how much more zone BC will want to play.
It's like an offensive foul there called against Wagner.
Sam, this game has just had no flow, right? I feel like we've had a lot of whistles, we've had a lot of jump balls, deflections, all that. This game just has had very little flow since the first quarter, and I'm not sure about that call. I think Wagner just fighting for position. Maybe a quick trigger there on that whistle.
Deflected out of bounds by Taylor Soule, so it will stay with Louisville. Coach Mack talked about kind of the unselfishness of a player like Taylor Soule, but I mean, make no mistake, she is still the leading scorer on this team. She still gets her points, but the way that she leads, her seniority, firing up the squad here, I mean, it cannot be underscored enough what she means to this Boston College team.
Exactly right, Sam. A play like this won't show up on the box score. You're just making Van Lith commit her third foul, which is huge. And Taylor Soule, her ability at 5'10", as a stretch 3/4 player, to be able to guard Van Lith full court, that is uncommon. That is another thing that T. Soule brings in her repertoire.
And there's a good pass to Cam Swartz, who gets fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot two. Best free throw shooter on this team at 83%.
Really good pass from Gerard, and Cam Swartz, she knows how to get her shot. She's a really good cutter. She's going to play so hard. And I think it says a lot about Coach Mack's trust in Swartz to have her in this game with 3 fouls, knowing that they needed an offensive spark, and when they need offense, they really do need Cam Swartz on the floor.
6 points in the game for Swartz, again coming off that 39-point performance a week ago. All right, every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, Nothing But Net crew going to break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game. Look ahead of the best games on the schedule in the coming week. And insight can only get one place right here on the ACC network. And, of course, you can watch on the ESPN app. Wonderful crew. Always love watching Kelly and all of our friends that night. 44-39, 150 left to go in the third quarter here. Marika Kono thought about the three, kicks it back to Robinson.
BC back in that man-to-man. Very smart substitution by Coach Mack. She got Swartz off the floor for this defensive possession.
Bearhouse, nice pass to Robinson, who puts it up and in for two. Robinson's got 6 now in the game.
Much needed bucket for Louisville, and very deflating for the Eagles. You play good defense for nearly 30 seconds, and Louisville makes a better play than you.
Michaela Dickens has struggled a bit in this game. Just 3 points, 1 for 5 from the field. Sure, they'd like to see her get it going. Can she? No, not there. And that one will cause some question marks from the Burnaby McNamee sideline of Boston College. They thought it was last touch, and now we have a conversation here by Louisville.
It's sounding like they reversed the call, just from what we can see.
They sure
Looks
did.
like they did, Sam. Maybe the bench, talking to the officials, doing some convincing. Jalen Batts, very vocal on that bench. Hello, Miss Official. I really don't think that was the right call. Can you take another one?
Is that exactly what she said? I'm not sure. We'll have to.
Greetings, Miss Official. I feel like that's the way she did it. Very polite.
Gakdang off the mark. Boston College just one of their last 7, no field goals in the last 220. Marika Kono back out to Kiana Smith. 30 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Smith will take it herself. And an offensive foul.
Marnell Girard, one of the best defenders in the ACC. That was an interesting call, though, as I see the replay, Sam. She is still one of the best defenders. She was completely moving on that play. I am not sure how that was a charge. I still give Girard credit because she is a great defender. That call is a little questionable to me, Sam.
We'll see if Boston College can capitalize on that here. Now with 12 seconds left to play, Marnell Girard with the ball, guarded closely by Kiana Smith. Who do they go to here? Looking for Cam Schwartz. Schwartz with 5 to shoot. Schwartz, dump underneath. Gakdang puts it up. Does she walk first? Wow.
You went from having a ton of momentum going into the quarter break to turning the ball over. And this is great two-man game. A good pass by Schwartz. I do think she travels. Louisville all around her, 3 players around her, but did not foul. Good defense from Louisville. I'm not sure, Sam, because, we can't hear what these officials are talking about, but one thing I've noticed, I think that Boston College bench has to be careful. I've seen a few of those players running out onto the floor, either after a play or after a call, that they just have to be careful. The last thing you need is a team technical right now. And I don't even know that's what they're talking about, but I've just been noticing that from the BC bench. It looks like they did call
something. They must have called something.
Okay, so it was on the bench. Yes, it was on bats running onto the floor. And
so technical foul,
She was 3 or 4 steps onto the floor, and you just can't do that.
So here's another look at it, and this just really hurts.
And it comes from a good place. You want that energy on the bench, and Coach Mack is talking to her, but you can't afford to have that happen. Coach Mack's not laying into her because she knows it comes from a good place, but you can't just give 2 points like that to Louisville in this kind of situation.
College 39. The Boston College bench has been in this game, but took it a little bit too far at the end of the third quarter. Here's a look. You see Jalen Batts jump up, look at the referee, immediate technical foul. So, we can imagine that there was probably a warning in there at some point, right, Kelly? But that really hurts.
Right. I would have to think perhaps earlier when we were kind of joking about the call being reversed, there may have been a warning. There may not. We're not sure, but it's obvious when Batts jumped up, she said something to the official. I mean, she was looking right at the official. I feel fairly confident she said something, and so the official did not hesitate at all and teed her up. And in a game like this where BC is fighting for points and Louisville is so good defensively, you cannot give Louisville 2 points, especially when Kiana Smith and Inkster are both on the bench. That really hurts you. If I'm BC, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the free throws, where you're only 9 of 16 from the free throw line. Those 2 things, if BC loses this game, I think you'll look back at both of those aspects.
We're going to keep an eye on the foul trouble as well here in the fourth quarter. A lot of players with multiple fouls. Nice save by Dixon, and Van Lith completes and gets Louisville to 50 points to start the fourth quarter.
What a play by Liz Dixon. She gets the assist there, probably gets the rebound. That was a heck of a play to save it and go right to Van Lith. Van Lith has 6 or 8 points this afternoon just on mid-ranges where her teammates have gotten an offensive rebound. And good job by Dixon. She's fighting for that ball, and Van Lith probably telling her, I'm here. Great pass by Dixon, and Van Lith just so good, as we said, in the mid-range.
Liz Dixon has been a really nice contributor off the bench for Louisville and probably doesn't get as much notoriety as some of the other players, but leads the team off the bench, 6 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, does a lot of the little stuff. And it looks like an extended arm there. Taylor Soule has done a really good job defensively drawing some fouls in difficult spots. Foul against Mikasa Robinson. So for Louisville, you got Van Lith with 4 fouls. Chelsea Hall with 3. Enksler only 1, but still haven't seen a whole lot of her.
And of course, Kiana Smith with 3 fouls too. We haven't seen her. Louisville has been fine offensively. And you have to think this game may be a little more out of reach if Kiana Smith's not in foul trouble because of how good she's been. But Van Lith, see the emotion. HVL is cooking from the mid-range. She has been excellent. And she's picked up that slack, knowing that Kiana Smith is on the bench. HVL has looked for her shot, and we're seeing a little bit of an offensive explosion from BC. They're scoring the ball here, Sam. They have to get stops on the other end.
Start to open up a little bit. You got Swartz in double figures now along with Taylor Soule, 10 and 11 respectively. Still no Kiana Smith in the game for Louisville. Narika Kono has it poked away by Gerard, and it will stay with the Cardinals here with 13 on the shot clock. And here we go, a couple of substitutions coming in for Louisville. Emily Enksler back in the game. Has only played a total of a couple of minutes. And Smith falling a little bit short there. I'd imagine it's a little bit tough to find your rhythm once you've been sitting on the bench a little bit as a shooter, Kelly. There's Chelsea Hall, who gets fouled by Swartz. She'll shoot 2.
Sam, it's very tough. She's been sitting on the bench for probably 20, 25 minutes of real time. So you've just been sitting there, and you can't do anything, and it's very frustrating when you are feeling it like she is and shooting the ball well and then get in foul trouble. If she had knocked down that mid-range, my first comment was going to be, wow, she just sat there for 25 minutes and is able to knock it down right away.
Over 2 at the free throw line there. In the open floor, Taylor Soule can't convert. Ball was last touched by Enksler. Rolled right off her back out of bounds. Soule wanted that one.
Great catch. This is a great catch by Taylor Soule. Unfortunately for her, not able to finish, but she's an incredible athlete in the open floor. And a very smart play as she saw that ball was deflected off of a red jersey to not touch it and to protect it to give BC another possession.
Ball into Soule on the block. Cochran, good defense, kick out to Dickens for 3. Wagner with the rebound, and she gets fouled.
Excellent rebound by Dontavia Wagner. Her contributions today off the bench, 7 points, 4 rebounds in just 12 minutes, and keeps this possession alive for the Eagles.
Boston College finally gets the ball in. Heard the buzzer go off. That was strange. Gakdane couldn't finish. Dickens playing some full court defense.
2 missed layups on that previous possession, Sam. That's where Boston College has to convert. You don't get chances at layups very often against this Louisville defense.
Under 7 to play, single-digit deficit for Boston College here. Taylor Soule thought about it. Free throw line jumper, no good. Gakdane crashes the board, last touch by the freshman. Talked a little bit about kind of our marquee matchup here. And Taylor Soule has kind of won the battle out. Haven't seen a whole lot of Emily Enksler in this game, but the 5 steals, of course, contributing defensively. In your estimation, what has kind of been the reason that we haven't seen Emily Enksler a ton?
You know, it's interesting because Coach Walls has sat her more than I would have thought. Now, I don't know if it's been an attitude thing or what, because I think she affects the game so much even when she's not scoring. But they haven't really needed her offensively. So when she's been out there, she has affected the game rebounding. She has a couple steals as well. So she's been effective in that regard. And that's the beauty of Louisville because of their balance. Inksler is a high school McDonald's All-American a couple years ago. They don't need her to score in a game like this because they have so many weapons. That's the luxury of Louisville when you have so many other players that can put the ball in the basket.
Nice defense there by the aforementioned Emily Inksler. Got the jump ball there.
And that's a shot from Wagner where the officials are not stupid. They know you're just throwing that ball up trying to get a foul. And that's something that Wagner will get better at and will learn. But they're not going to give you that call.
More full court pressure from Boston College, trying to force some Louisville turnovers. 17 turnovers, that's well over their season average of 14. Cochran, skip pass, way over the head of Kiana Smith. Now 18 turnovers for Louisville. I just don't know if we've seen
5'9". She's 5'9", Sam, not 6'9". You got to bring that ball down there if you're Olivia Cochran.
I just don't know if we've seen enough of Boston College capitalizing on those turnovers. Just 11 points off the 18 turnovers of Louisville.
It's a great point. And we came into this game talking about BC's offense. They have been excellent in the last 4 games, averaging over 80 points per game. I think Louisville's defense has shown why they are the 5th best defense in terms of scoring defense in the country. When you can stifle an offense like this, BC can score the rock. I think the story of this game, at least so far for me, has just been about Louisville's defense and how defense travels, even on a day where they aren't playing as well as they can offensively. That defense has been tough.
And Timmerin with the ball, 5 to shoot. Poked away by Inksler on the floor. And a jump ball possession arrow to Boston College.
What a play by
havoc.
Inksler. There are very few 6'1" players that can get in a stance and guard a point guard like that and get a steal. She is so versatile. And she can score. She averages 10 a game. She's a leading rebounder. Her defensive ability may be her best overall trait on the floor. She can guard 1 through 5 virtually. Yeah. She's the top of your press. She's big enough where she can battle with post players inside. She's a great defensive rebounder. She has great instincts. Coach Walls said that Emily Inksler has the best defensive instincts that he's coached since Angel McCautry. That is some high praise from Jeff Walls, Sam.
Yeah, that is saying something. Angel, of course, fantastic player at Louisville and into the WNBA. So, yes, there was 1 second on the shot clock when the ball was inbounded and touched out of bounds. And then we heard the buzzer go off. So it looks like we put 1 second back on the shot clock for Boston College after the jump ball. I don't think we're done discussing this with Jeff Walls yet.
First name basis, huh, Jeff? Louisville boy, right, Jeff?
All right, so we'll go ahead and step aside as our officials sort this out here. It's a 54-43 game with number 3 Louisville on top.
A new home and new projects go hand in hand. With the Home Depot app, you'll pick it up in no time. You can pick up new skills in our Homeowner 101 workshops. Pick up new power tools with a tap. Pick up the things you need at our convenient lockers. Or even pick them up right from your doorstep. Pick up more of what you need so you can do more of what you love. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
We love our new home. Lots of windows, great light. the birds.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Why are these birds so angry?
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Guys, thank you very much. Louisville in a tightly contested battle with Boston College here with 5:06 left to go. It's an interesting play that I guess is still kind of being talked about. There was 1 second left on the shot clock. Boston College, after the jump ball was inbounding, and you see Chelsea Hall jumping there, and it touched her and then went out of bounds. So I'm not sure, Kelly.
I do not know, Sam. This is very confusing. These are the types of things where if we are on site, we could have an official tell us what was going on.
The players came out on the court ready to go, and then were kind of sent back over to their respective benches.
Back.
But I do see the 30 seconds there, as everyone else does, on the shot clock, which would lead me to believe that the 1 second came off, and then it would be Louisville ball.
Because Hall did not establish possession, it's viewed as it was a deflection, which again, this has been a game of deflections. Then that just means the shot clock expired,
right?
And it was a turnover. There was not enough time. I'm assuming it was. You can't put less than a second
right
in that situation. And I do think they're right in that Chelsea Hall did not establish possession. So that would make sense. But it seems that they were going to rule there was 1 second left, and then they decided to review it again. So that was what was confusing.
All right, well, we have another college hoops triple header for you. Saturday right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Two of these games going to showcase four of the top players in the conference. Darion Sebron, Wolfpack taking on Jaden Gardner, and Virginia 4 Eastern. Then, of course, Armando Bacot with the Tar Heels against Alondis Williams and Wake Forest. It'll be Saturday. Had a good day yesterday, an exciting day in men's college hoops. 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And Louisville with the ball now. We got the shot clock figured out. Chelsea Hall turns it over. Cam Schwartz was right there. BC with numbers, 3-on-2. Soul in the open floor. Tough shot. Able to convert. Arnell Girard almost stole that one. Now Louisville with numbers. Hall slipping. Puts up a wild shot. Ball tipped around, and it's Hall who ends up with a rebound.
Hall has to slow down a little bit. You're playing with a 9-point lead. She's been pressing in these last two possessions. Bad turnover and a wild shot. There is no need to rush right now if you're Louisville.
3 on the shot clock. Enksler with a floater too strong. 10-point deficit. Louisville has struggled a little bit to find the bottom of the basket. A scoring drought of over 2 minutes. Taylor Soule, nice position underneath. What a save, but unfortunately turns it over to Chelsea Hall. Poked away. Game of deflections, as Kelly said.
It has been truly that. I do not think I have called a game with more deflections. I should have been counting from the jump, Sam, if only I knew.
Smith, wide open 3. Enksler had position underneath, and it's last touch by Boston College.
Here's another look at T. Soul in transition. This is not normal. To be able to make this catch with the little bobble, find a way, and to score, it just accentuates and really displays Taylor Soule's incredible athleticism in the open floor.
13 points. Taylor Soule has been in double figures in all but 3 games this season. Named to the Cheryl Miller Award watch list this season. And she's okay not being the star of the team, albeit she does lead the team in points. But she just does all the little things. If her shot's not falling, Kelly, you know I called that Penn State game a couple of weeks ago when Boston College hosted Penn State, and Taylor Soule was struggling a little bit to find her offense. But, man, she was all over the floor. Does everything so well for this team.
She is one of the most unselfish star players I've ever encountered calling ACC basketball. She just doesn't care. If she has 4 points and her team wins, she does not care. She wants to win. And you see the way she's trying to get her team fired up, trying to get herself fired up, knowing that they're still in this game, 9-point deficit. They can still find a way, but T-Soul, she is just a joy to watch play basketball. All she cares about is the team goal.
Dickens heads to the bench. Been a tough day for her for Boston College. Just 1 for 8 from the floor with 3 points. (54-45). Under 3 to play here at Conti Forum. Smith at the elbow picks up the dribble. Backdoor cut for Van Lith. No good, and the offensive rebound to Dontavia Wagner. One of the smaller players on the court has 5 rebounds.
Sam, I don't even know what to do with myself. Van Lith missed a mid-range jumper. It's so unlike her.
Wagner defended by Angsler, who got a hand on the ball and shoved it out of bounds.
Angsler continues to set the tone defensively. It's been an offensive night for her, but she is making things tough for Wagner, for Soule, and speaking of Soule, I believe that's an offensive foul hitting Angsler. I'm not sure that was the face. We need to see a replay perhaps, but I think that was a good call.
Second foul on Taylor Soule in the game.
Not sure how much contact we had, but as we saw it a second time, Van Lith gets the call.
Angsler all the way coast to coast. That's what she can do. 4 points now for Emily Angsler in the game. Dickens, nice pass underneath to Gakdang. Up and in for 2, and Gakdang's got 8.
BC's hanging around, but Sam, they have to get stops. If you don't get stops, this game is effectively over. It doesn't really matter at this point what you're doing on the other end. You have to slow down Louisville and basically not let them score the rest of the game. It's got to be a defensive mindset right now.
Dontavia Wagner will check out. Cam Swartz back in the game. Get you over to Georgia Tech, Miami, after our game is complete here. 1:50 left to go in the fourth. And Olivia Cochran knocks down the first free throw.
Neither team has been exceptional from the free throw line in this one, but Boston College, 9 for 16. They've left 7 points out there at the free throw line. I think that's something, if they go on to lose the game, they'll look back on.
Boston College trailing by 11. You got to figure they want to push a little bit here. Instead, turning it over in the open floor. Smith, who else, finishes on the other end, leading the way with 16 points in the game. And a block is called. Taylor Soule is trying to find Gakdang underneath.
Olivia Cochran inside the restricted area, still moving, had not obtained legal guarding position. I like that call, even though we know, and that's where the block charge call can be really tough to officiate in basketball, Sam. We knew Taylor Soule just had her head down. And I mean, that's kind of the definition of a charge when you're not really looking to score, right. You're just barreling forward.
Smith, floater up and in. And Louisville now coasting their way through the tail end of this fourth quarter. The last time these two teams met, Kelly, we talked about at the top of our show, Louisville dished out a 30-point win against Boston College. Boston College went on to win 4 straight games after that one coming into today. Look, this is a different Boston College team than I think it was when these two last met. But no question, Boston College has some work to do. Again, currently sitting in the last 4 out in our friend Charlie Cream's bracketology. Or first 4 out, as Cam Schwartz knocks down a long 2. Schwartz, once again, the floater. No good. Out of bounds. Will stay with Boston College, Kelly.
Time and score. Cam Schwartz has to realize time and score. She's got to kick that out to Dickens. Dickens was open in the corner. You're down 13. Get it out to your three-point shooter. It's still a long shot, but you've got to find a way to get some threes off.
Olivia Cochran loses the handle. 37.
We've had a little bit of a turnover fest in this one,
yes.
Sam. And in the end, Louisville can overcome those turnovers because of how they shot the three and their offensive balance. Those 24 turnovers for BC, if you're pointing to one thing, to me that was the biggest issue for Boston College in finding a way to play with Louisville today.
We talked about Emily Angsler maybe not getting it done on the offensive end, but defensively, she has been the difference maker.
She's been all over the floor. She can guard 1 through 5. She's getting out on the perimeter and guarding guards. She's getting in passing lanes. Once she gets that steal, she can run the break. She's staying in front of Dontavia Wagner, one of the best athletes in the ACC, and getting the block. She can do it all defensively. And I know the WNBA scouts and powers that be, when they see her, they see, I would see defense first with Angsler.
Okay.
And she can do it all. And I think you can develop her into a better three-point shooter. But what she can do defensively is so unique. I think that's what stands out to her, or about her, first and foremost.
Just does so many things for this team. Actually leads the team in conference play. She's averaging 14 points and 8 boards through the 4 conference games that Louisville has played this year. But obviously a bit of a struggle on the offensive side, but defensively, I mean, my goodness.
They're tough, Sam. They're tough. If you are not able to knock down threes, and if you are not completely focused in taking care of the basketball, Louisville is going to make you struggle. They're going to make you look rough offensively.
Right.
That's what they do. And that's why they're one of the best defensive teams in the country.
Van Lith gets fouled by Dickens and helped up to her feet with 25.7 left to go. We've also talked a lot about how Louisville can suffocate you defensively, as you see Van Lith get fouled there. Again, averaging or holding opponents to an average of 49.2 points a game. I mean, you're right there. 51 points for Boston College in this one.
And this is a BC team that averages over 70, and over their
Right.
last 4, they're averaging 84.5 points per game. And Louisville walks onto BC's floor and says, no, not today. You're not going to be able to score. It's really impressive what they can do. And we talk about Louisville points off turnovers. They average 22 points off of your turnovers. Today, they have 27. That has been a big part of this game.
In and out on the second. And another whistle underneath. Coach Burnaby McNamee will call a timeout here with 24.7 left to go. So Louisville seemingly will handle Boston College here on the road, but man, do they have a tough one coming up, Kelly. Number 5, NC State on Thursday. That'll be on ESPN. Not an easy road ahead. You got number 17 Duke lying in the weeds there on January 30th, but those games are always fun. When these two meet, NC State and Louisville, right? I mean, you're in for some fireworks.
I cannot wait. That game always delivers. It's always good between these two teams, and they only play once in the regular season. So make sure you mark your calendars for this Thursday. They may play again in the ACC Championship like they did last year. And Sam, what did I say you have to do against Louisville? You have to take care of the ball, and you've got to be able to shoot from the outside, spread the floor. Well,
Right.
NC State is the best three-point shooting team in all of the nation, and they take such good care of the basketball. They have 2 point guards, and sometimes they play them together in Perez and Diamond Johnson. So I cannot wait for that Louisville-NC State matchup.
Swartz to Soul underneath. Gets Boston College to 53. Still a 10-point deficit, and Louisville will seemingly be content to run this one out. 63-53 as head coach Jeff Walls gets a hug from his longtime friend and head coach Joanna Burnaby McNamee, as it is his 400th career win, Kelly, and he gave all the credit to his players. He said, I did not make one basket.